What's up guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. On today's tutorial we are going to be making this crochet cover up. You're going to need balls of yarn, obviously, a crochet hook, a pair of scissors and a tape measure, and at the end of the video I'll tell you how many balls of yarn I used. I decided to intertwine my 2 balls of yarn just to make it a bit thicker, but preferably you can use the 100-gram weight yarn for your project. And you begin by making a slip knot, but ensure that you have taken your hips measurement because that is what will guide you on the number of chains you're supposed to make. Use your tape measure to ensure that the number of chains you've made measure up to the number of inches of your hips, so that you can now proceed to the next step. Ensure you've straightened your work all through because you're supposed to connect the 2 ends with a slip knot before you now proceed working on the rows. We are now working on row 1, where you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and work single crochets on every open stitch of your chains until you reach the end where you're going to connect. I'm now done working on the first row, and like I said earlier, I'm going to connect the 2 ends with a slip knot before I now proceed working on the second row. On the second row, you're going to chain 2, turn your work, and enter with double crochets on every open stitch of row 1 until you reach the end of that row. Then you connect the 2 ends with a slip knot again. We are now working on row 3, which is the beginning of the mesh part of your cover up. So you're going to chain 2, turn your work, skip the very first stitch and enter the second stitch with a double crochet, chain 1, skip the next stitch, enter the next stitch with a double crochet, chain 1, skip the next stitch, enter the next stitch with a double crochet, which will give it an effect where it leaves a bit of space. So you're going to repeat this pattern until the end of that row where you're going to connect the 2 ends with a slip knot. I'm now done working on the third row. I'm going to connect the two ends with a slip knot so that I can proceed making row 4, where you're going to chain 2, turn your work, enter with a double crochet on the very first open space of row 3, chain 1, enter with a double crochet on the next open space, chain 1, enter with a double crochet on the next open space. So basically it is just a repetition of this. The next rows on the mesh part of your cover up, continue with this same pattern that you are following and ensure that the number of rows you've made for this part measures up to 9 inches on your tape measure before you now proceed on working on the diamond mesh part of your cover up. I'm now working on the crotch area of my pants. The number of chains you're going to do is going to be determined by your body size. For a small sized person, you're going to do 15 chains, and for a medium sized person, you're going to do 20 chains. And since I am medium sized, I'm going to proceed doing 20 chains. Now connect the number of chains you've made to the back part of the cover up and ensure it's in the middle part of it so that the two leg holes are going to be the same size. I'll start working on the first leg hole before I now proceed to the next leg hole, and I'll begin by doing double crochets on the 20 chains that I made on the crotch area, and when I reach the end I'll show you what to do after that. I'm done working double crochets on the 20 chains that I made. Now I'm continuing with the pattern that I was following before, where you're going to chain 1, enter on the open space with a double crochet, chain 1, enter the next open space with a double crochet, chain 1, enter the next open space with a double crochet. So basically it is just a repetition, and when you reach the part where you have done your double crochets, you're going to continue with the same pattern, and at the end connect with a slip knot. Continue with the mesh pattern, and remember that the place where you did your double crochet, you're going also to continue with the mesh pattern, and at the end you're going to connect with the slip knot, just like we have been doing. You're going to do a total of 4 rows of this mesh pattern, and ensure that the number of rows you've made measures up to 2 inches on your tape measure. I'm now working on the diamond mesh. I'm going to chain 21, skip 6 open spaces and enter with a single crochet on the 7th open space, chain 21, skip 6 open spaces and enter the 7th open space with a single crochet, chain 21, skip 6 open spaces, enter the 7th open space with a single crochet. So it is just a repetition of that. You're going to do it all round until you reach the end where you're going to connect the 2 ends with a slip knot. I'm now at the end of that row. I'm going to chain 21 and connect the 2 ends with a slip knot so that I can proceed to the second part of the diamond mesh part of this cover up. On the second row of this diamond mesh, you're going to chain 21, enter with a single crochet on the open diamond and ensure it's in the middle part. Then chain 21, enter with a single crochet on the next diamond part, ensure it's in the middle part. So you're going to repeat this pattern until you reach the end of that row, where you're going to connect the two ends with a slip knot. You can continue with this pattern until it reaches your desired length. I'm now done with the first leg hole. I've done a number of rows that have reached my desired length. So now I'm going to proceed working on the second leg hole. I'm now working on the second leg hole. I'm going to reattach my yarn by making a slip knot. And since I'm starting with the side where I did a double crochet on the crotch area, I'm going to chain 2, skip the next open stitch, and on the next open stitch I'm going to enter with a double crochet, chain 1, skip the next stitch, and on the next stitch enter with a double crochet. So I'm going to do a repetition of this pattern until I finish this area. And when I reach the part where it is the mesh part, I'm going to chain 1, enter the next open space with a double crochet, chain 1, enter the next open space with a double crochet. So I'm going to repeat this pattern until I reach the end of this row, where I'm going to connect the two ends with a slip knot. I'm done with the first row. I'm going to connect the two ends using a slip knot, then chain 2, turn my work, and on the very first stitch, that is the first open space, enter with a double crochet, chain 1, enter the next open space with a double crochet, chain 1, then enter the next open space with a double crochet. So you're going to repeat this pattern until you finish this row, where you're going to connect the two ends with a slip knot again. Do a total of 4 rows and ensure that the rows measures up to 2 inches, just like the other leg hole, before you now proceed working on the diamond mesh part. I'm now working on the diamond mesh part of this second leg hole. I'm going to chain a total of 21, skip the next open 6 spaces, and enter on the 7th open space with a single crochet. Chain a total of 21 again, skip 6 open spaces, and on the 7th open space enter with a single crochet. So it is just a repetition of what we were doing on the first leg hole. And once you are done with this row, at the end connect using a slip knot. Continue following this pattern until you do a number of rows that reach your desired length, just like you did on the first leg hole. I'm done with my 2 leg holes. I've done a number of rows that reach the desired length that I want. Now I'm proceeding to working on the waist part of this cover up. I'm reattaching my yarn on the middle part of the cover up using a slip knot. Then I'm going to chain 2 and proceed working with back post and front post all round the waist part of the cover up. If you don't understand what I mean by front post and back post, please consider looking for videos on YouTube on how to do it. But if you can understand what I'm doing while we are doing this together, then well and good, we can proceed. Continue with the front post and the back posts all round until you reach the end where you're going to connect the 2 ends with a slip knot. I'm now done working on the waistband of my cover up. Now I'm just trying to hide the excess yarn using my crochet hook, but you can consider using a crocheting needle. I'm now going to work on the string that I'll be using to tie my waistband, since the waistband is bigger, because from the beginning we've been using the hips measurement. So do a number of chains that is your desired length, and that will be it. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video up to this point. Don't forget to like, comment and share, and most importantly, don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you can be notified once I post a new tutorial. I wish you all a lovely week full of God's blessings.